Let me tell you a story. Not just any story, but a story that can enter the heart like fire, like light breaking into a dark room. There was once a young man named Joash, son of Gideon. From his childhood, his heart was heavy. Whenever he walked through the village, children would whisper behind him, "That is Gideon's son, the man who tore down our father's altar." Sometimes the boys would even sing songs to mock him. Other times, the women at the well would laugh softly, shaking their heads. Poor boy. If only his father had not destroyed the altar of Baal, their family would not be living in such shame. Joash hated it. He hated his father's choice. His family's farm was poor. Their clothes were old, and their house, compared to the shining compounds of their neighbors, looked like a heart swallowed by the earth. At night, he would lie on his bed staring at the roof, whispering bitter words. "Father, why? Why did you tear down what gave us honor? Why did you disgrace us before the whole land? Why did you leave us with nothing but your strange God who speaks from the shadows?" But Gideon, his father, would smile with calm eyes. He would say, "My son, the altar of Baal may look strong, but it is chains. The altar of the Lord may look foolish now, but it is freedom." Joash never understood. One day, years later, something happened. The young man was called secretly by an elder of the village. The elder's words came like honey to his ears. "Joash, you are young and strong. We know your father broke down the old altar, but if you rebuild it with your own hands, the people will honor you. Gold will flow into your house again. Your farm will prosper. The shame will vanish. You and your children will never know poverty." The word stabbed his heart. Could it be so easy? Rebuild, ball, prosper. That night, Joash walked near the ruins of the old altar. The stones lay silent, covered with dust and weeds. The moon shone upon them as if mocking him. He knelt down, touching the cold stones. "If I build you again," he whispered, "maybe my suffering will end. Maybe the voices will stop. Maybe I will finally be free." But deep in his spirit, another voice rose. It was soft, but it cut like thunder. "Son, if you rebuild this altar, you will not be free. You will be a slave forever. Choose whom you will serve. Will you bow to the chains of your fathers, or will you walk in the freedom I gave your father?" Joash fell on his knees, weeping. His hands shook. He remembered his childhood mockery. He remembered his mother's tears when there was no food. He remembered how the villagers laughed at him. "Lord," he cried, "I do not understand you. Why do you make it so hard? Why do you hide blessings behind pain? Why do you give my father faith but give me shame?" The night was silent. Only his sobs filled the air. Then, in that silence, he remembered something. He remembered his father's smile. That strange, peaceful smile Gideon carried, even when hungry, even when mocked. He whispered, "Father lost everything, but he never lost his peace. Maybe that is the blessing." And suddenly Joash laughed through his tears. "Peace? Ha! Who wants peace when we need bread? Who wants joy when we need gold?" He laughed so hard the crickets seemed to pause, but then the laughter broke into sobs again. He covered his face. "Oh Lord, what do I choose?" As dawn approached, Joash rose. His eyes were swollen with tears, but his heart was steady. He looked at the ruins one last time. Slowly, he lifted one of the broken stones. For a moment, his arms trembled as if he would rebuild. But then, he threw it aside, and with a loud voice that shook even the buds from the trees, he declared, "I will not rebuild the altar of chains. I will serve the God of my father Gideon, even if it costs me everything. For I would rather be poor in his freedom than rich in slavery." At that moment, it was as if heaven itself smiled. The morning sun rose brighter. His heart felt light for the first time in years. He went home, and though the farm was still small, though the roof was still weak, there was a fire in his soul. And in time, blessings came. Not the quick blessings of Baal, but the deep blessings of God, peace, joy, children who honored him, and the story that would be told for generations. My friend, every generation stands before the ruins of two altars. One is the old altar of chains, traditions, sins, shortcuts, bitterness, and the gods of this world. The other is the altar of freedom, built on faith, obedience, and a God who never fails. The question is simple: which altar will you build? Maybe right now you're like Joash, crying, "Lord, I need bread, not peace." Maybe you've even laughed at the idea of trusting God. And yes, God hears our laughter too. But listen carefully. Bread can fill your stomach, but only peace can fill your soul. So, my brother, my sister, do not rebuild the old chains. Even if the world mocks you, even if the road is hard, choose the altar of freedom. Because your choice today is not just for you, it is for your children and your children's children. Let this story touch you, heal you, wake you up. And if it has spoken to your heart, don't just keep it. Share it. Tell someone else about the God who gives freedom. And please, if this story has blessed you, subscribe to our channel so you can keep hearing more stories like this. Stories that will make you cry, laugh, and most of all, draw closer to God. And don't just subscribe, share it so another soul can be free. Because remember, every generation must choose. Which altar will you build?
Please like, share and subscribe.